Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to rescue this photograph. As you can see, there's a lot of debris in the background. Not a very tidy photograph at all, but this is going to be the finished item, which I think looks miles better. I've added an oil paint at the end as well, which I think enhances it even more. So let's get started. Now, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to make a duplicate copy. So we'll go up to image and we'll say duplicate. And I think what we'll do is we'll call it blurred background. And say OK to that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to blur the background. Well, we're going to blur the whole image. So we're going to go up to filter, down to blur, and to Gaussian blur. Now I think I had it on about 300. Now let's just check. Yes, I think let's try 350. Yeah, because there's some dark patches which seem to be quite prevalent. So if I say OK to that one, I think that will be OK. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to move the blue background over to this image here. So we get the move tool, we hold the left mouse button down, click and hold, and drag up to your image. Bring it down again and release the mouse button. Now we can move it around and resize it, and it's the same size as the image, so we don't have to do any transforming to that. So we'll say OK to that one. Now what we'll do is we'll rename this layer blurred background. And I'm going to turn down the opacity on this now so we can see the image underneath. So I'll say 75%, something like that. Now we're going to put a mask on this layer. So we're going to come down to your mask, click the mask. Okay, and now we've got a mask on the blurred background. Now we're going to start painting on the mask. Now make sure you've got black as your foreground, white as your background. You want the brush, and we're going to go straight in at 100%. You can take a soft brush. I've got that on about 30%. Now don't forget, black reveals, white hides. So let's go to the mask. Make sure you've got the brush. You're on black. Adjust the size of your brush. And we're just going to go in and paint. Now, if this is going to take a long time, I'll stop the video and do the rest and then come back to you. But let's just see how we get on. Now, if you make a mistake, like I've just done, I'm doing this quickly. You might not do it as well as you're going to do it. So let's just carry on. I think you've got the hang of that. Do the top. Just the size of your brush. Paint out. Paint out the background. You can also zoom in so you can see in more detail, which I most likely might do on the other looping. I think you've got the idea there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and paint the other one in. I'll stop the video and then we can come back when I've done that. Okay, so we're back. And as if by magic, the second looping has been painted in. Now also I said to you that if you make a mistake, you can paint the background back in. So if you switch to white, now the best thing to do is if you want to switch without actually having to go here and physically do it, just press the X button and you can see that they change. So press X, depending on whether you want white or black. So we're going to be on white and I'm going to go in at 100%. I don't usually, but for quickness, I'm just going to go down here and paint this back in again. Can you see how the background's coming back in? Do that the other side. As I say, I'm doing this quite quickly. Don't think there's anywhere else. Maybe that little bit there. Now what you can do is, let's zoom out a bit and let's just turn the opacity up on the background. And that doesn't look too bad. I think I might just block out some of these bits here. But let's just have a look. So I'll take it back down to 75. So let's have another look. I think there's some really bright bits there. So we're going to go in. So press your X. You've got black. Don't forget the brush. In fact, we need white, don't we? So press your X. I keep forgetting to do it because I don't normally use the keyboard. So I'm just going to block out some of these bright bits. And you don't have to be too accurate. It's just where it's very bright green. All you need to do is just sometimes, it's more bright green there. Just tap a bit with your mouse. Just do that bit there, that bit. So I'll come over here. A bit more. Okay. I think we're nearly there. Yeah. I think you've got the idea on that anyway. So we'll turn the opacity up again. And that does look much better. It will do when you've got the background in. Okay. I think I might bring some of that back in. That looks a bit strange. You could always do it at less than 100% anyway. So now what we'll do is we'll clone some leaves in around here. Which if you look on the finished one, that's what I've done here, just clone some leaves in the background. So let's go back. I'm going to switch this layer off for the time being, and we're going to be working on this one. I'm going to make a copy of this layer. So go down to the plus, and there you are, you've got a copy of your layer. Get your clone tool, 100%. You don't have to be too accurate. Let's clone some of these here. Just fill in that bit there. Just keep on clicking. That'll do. We'll rename this layer Cloned Leaves. So as we know what that layer is, we'll turn this background back on. So now we'll go back to our blurred background. I'm going to turn it right up to 100% now. So now we can actually see what we're dealing with. So let's do some more masking. Again, make sure you've got black and white. Black to reveal, white to hide. Brush. Make sure you're on the mask. Otherwise, if you're not on the mask, nothing will happen. So make sure you're on the mask. Press your X. Make sure you've got your black brush. I'm going to have quite a big brush. So I'm going to reveal now the leaves. As I said, if you make a mistake, like it looks as though I have done there, you just press your white. So we're just going to go around and do all of this. Change to white. I'm going to mask that little bit out there. A little bit there. So I'm going to do a bit more masking. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it down to about 25%. About 25%. So we're going to gradually bring a bit of this background back in. So it sort of blends in. If you start with small increments, it doesn't blur it out all at once. Now let's just do these leaves here. Now I'm going to do the flower, the second flower. I'm going to blur that out a bit more. Give this a bit of, make that look as though it's standing back in the background. You can obviously play about with it more than I've done. Let's just bring a bit of this back in. We're on 25%, so let's zoom in. As you can see, I'm just touching the mouse. And as we're only at 25%, just doing it gradually. Okay. See, I keep going back and actually changing the colour without pressing the X, because I've always done that, but it's just a shortcut way. I think that might be okay. Let's zoom out again. I think I can just see some bits. You see here the edges. So we're already on the white. Get the brush. Probably do a smaller brush. And just gradually fade it in. Let's have a look now. That doesn't look too bad. Obviously, you'll spend more time than me, because there is little bits I can see. I think you've got the general idea. Let's just zoom out again. If you look at the one that I made earlier, as they say in Blue Peter, or they used to, because what I'm going to do is just going to sweep across that flower, just blur it a bit more. think that might be okay. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a copy of this layer. So I'll bring it down to the plus, and I'm going to put an oil paint on it. So let's zoom in so you can see the effect. Go up to filter, stylize, oil paint. You've got a nice oil paint effect there. You can do it once more if you want to, but that looks quite nice. As I say, you can mess about with it, and what I'll do is I'll also call that layer oil paint. So you see, by doing this, you can switch any of these off. You switch the oil paint off. They're all there so as you can make any adjustments to them. So I think that looks pretty good. Pretty much like the original, pretty much. But I think you've got the general idea of that. I'm just giving you an idea of what you can do to a photograph when you've got all this busy stuff in the background. It's surprising what you can do, and it's something a bit different from what I normally do. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.